What is up, guys? In today's video I want to go over which code editor is better, PyCharm or Visual Studio Code. And as you can see right down here, I have both of them, and I'm going to be using Python as the language to compare the two, because in a lot of my Python tutorials I see people have a lot of problems with the code editor. So this video is just going to clarify which one is better to be used in which situation. So to start off, the two code editors look very much alike. I mean, this one here is PyCharm, and you can tell because it has a lot of the display tools that you need, such as the terminal and the Python console. And Visual Studio Code is more of an overall editor. You can develop web apps here, you can develop C++ code here, and you can do essentially anything you want in here, even create applications for iPhone and Android. It's just a really good overall code editor. And with that being said, it's going to be much more bare. So if you want to start writing code in Python, it's probably not the best place to start, because you do need to have some more information based on how the terminal works, how to find the location of your environment and how to create a virtual environment, and also how to run the Python code, because nothing is installed by default. PyCharm, on the other hand, has everything pre-installed for us, which means we're not going to have any problems if we want to create a simple project. And if you follow most of my tutorials and you are using PyCharm, you're going to notice that it's going to be much easier. And this is because PyCharm is concentrated on making Python work, which means every time you create a new project, you're going to have a virtual environment set up for you, and you're also going to have an easy place to install packages. So for example, if we go here and type in pip install requests, which is a very famous package in Python, it's going to say it's collecting all the data and it's going to install it. On the other hand, if we go to our Visual Studio Code and we open up the terminal, if we try to type in pip install requests, we're going to have a harder time because it's not going to be able to find pip out of the box. We're going to have to do some extra setup. And practically over the years, I've only been using PyCharm, and I tried using Visual Studio Code, which is definitely going to be something I recommend you use after a certain amount of time, because as you become a better programmer, you start wanting to have less restrictions, and PyCharm does introduce a few restrictions, such as a premium version and the basic version. For basic tasks, PyCharm is perfect. It has a really good code completion. It's developed by IntelliJ, which is a very popular company for code editing, and it works perfect for those kind of things. But if you want to have full control of everything, just go to Visual Studio Code. You're going to be able to create everything from scratch, and because of that, you're also going to experience added steps to using the code editor. But otherwise, it's going to work exactly the same as PyCharm. So here we can type in hello world, and we can run the program by clicking on this plus or clicking on this play, and you'll notice in the console here, it's going to print hello world. Very similarly, if we go here and click on run, it's going to print hello. And I just want to say that the PyCharm terminal for me is much easier to read. Usually it's a bit cleaner and it just has a style that I like more, but in the end it's not going to really change much. You can always increase the size of this, I believe by command plus, and you can see more and more as you zoom in, of course. But to sum this up, definitely use PyCharm if you are a beginner. If it's your first year or your second year, I still recommend using PyCharm. It's just so much easier to set up. You don't have to worry about a lot of the added extra steps to make your project work, and it just makes life a lot easier if you're starting with Python. Otherwise, if you do have a good understanding on computers and you do understand how to read documentation a bit more better than others, definitely go for Visual Studio Code, because you have a little bit more flexibility and there's not a premium version of this, so you don't have to worry about having to upgrade later in case you want to make more advanced projects. But with that being said, guys, I really hope this clarification helped in some way, and if you have any advice that has to do with these two code editors, I would love to hear it in the comment section down below. But with that being said, as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.